Okay, hey everybody, Hawk here. I was in the middle of working on my old controller performance on Tenkaichi 3 until I realized that for some reason my GameCube controller segment of the project was not in my folder. It was gone, so I decided to boot up my Wii and figured I'd do a better performance. Like, in a way it was a good thing because the performance I had originally done for the project was actually pretty crappy. Like, I'm not really that good with the GameCube controller whatsoever, and I had managed to play with it numerous times and took me quite a bit of time to adjust to the Z button on this thing in order to do Dragon Dash canceling and such else. But since I got on this and I was going to do my final performance for Tenkaichi, well, final performance in the sense that this is going to be the final performance for my old controller performance for Tenkaichi 3, I figured since I've actually gotten on this thing, I might as well do a quick tutorial with a GameCube controller on Tenkaichi 3 since for some reason nobody has done it before. So let's hop into it because I already know everything. I know how to use this controller, just not proficiently. Half the time I forget which buttons to press because of the layout of the buttons. Like, B is on the left, Y is above, A is in the middle, and X is on the right, so I'm not at all used to this, but let's see. So we gotta go into battle training. We'll do basic, I'm just gonna run right through this. Shouldn't be that long. Movement and dashing is pretty straightforward. Movement, your fighter will move in the direction you push the control stick. When you and your opponent are close enough, you'll enter close combat mode. When this happens, movement works a little bit differently. This is where step-ins and sways come in. So if you, basically tilt your left stick forward, moves you closer to your opponent. Tilt it backward, moves you further away. Left and right, move around your opponent, and dash. Dash can only be done when you're outside the step-in barrier. Before you people ask what the hell I'm talking about, I actually am planning to do a full in-depth tutorial on Tenkaichi 3, but I ask you please be patient because that tutorial is not only going to take a lot of time, I don't have enough time right now to actually get that done. Prior to getting that tutorial done, I'm actually trying to get the Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 tutorial done because that's going to be a hell of a lot easier compared to Tenkaichi 3, so yeah, for those of you who already are familiar with most of Tenkaichi 3's terminology or Tenkaichi terminology in general, I will be using some of it as I go through some of these. Otherwise, I'll try to keep everything as simple as possible because I know there are some people who are Spanish and Japanese players possibly watching this and their English isn't too strong, so I don't know, let's see how everything goes. Use the control stick and B to dash it. Oh, so B is to dash. Hooray, I finally learned something. Use B to dash towards your opponent. Of course, step in and step evasion. If you press B while in close combat mode, a dash becomes a step in instead. Step in, also known as the sway. If you basically press B on the GameCube controller, since we're doing that, while you're in close combat mode, you'll do a step-in, and a step-in makes you briefly invincible, which means that you will be able to dodge certain attacks within certain time frames. And like I said, I'm going to save all of this for the actual tutorial, but for those of you who have a general idea, I'm going to start using some of this terminology here. While performing a step-in, certain attacks become briefly invincible, as I just said. As you can see, Gohan is doing his forward smash, and Videl is doing a step in, which makes her briefly invincible, and the attack basically goes right over her head, allowing you to get the better of your opponent if your timing is good. If you press left, right, down, plus B while in close combat mode, you'll move in the direction you pressed using step evasion, which is basically the equivalent of like sidestepping, backstepping, stepping in, etc. However, this does not make you invincible as with the step-in. The basics of attacking, my specialty, hand-to-hand fighting. Attacks. Rush attack. Press A while close to your opponent to launch a striking attack. Consecutively, tap A to launch a barrage of attacks. This is called a rush attack. Rush attacks are the most basic form of close combat. Rush finish, which is basically what most people used to do online in the old days of Tenkaichi 3. Press A after the 5th hit in a rush attack. Then you can perform rush finish, which basically, if you are at the top of the stage, you'll smash your opponent downwards and then forwards. If you're at the bottom of the stage, you'll smash them upwards and then forwards. I'm pretty sure I don't have that wrong. Is it still up and then forwards after if you're at the top? I don't know, I'm thinking of the Z counter stuff, that's why. Continuously tap A to perform a basic barrage attack that can send enemies flying. If you're not used to it, you should battle with mainly rush finish, which is pretty crappy. Smash attack. Hold A to charge up. If you do this, you can release a smash, which will level 1 smash attack will basically make your opponent flinch for a moment. If you hold it down like halfway, it becomes a level 2 charge attack, so you'll smash your opponent away like Videl is smashing away Gohan in that display over there. Smashing him away so he's rolling away. He's not actually being smashed away. And if you continue holding it until your character's body flashes and the charge full sound effect plays to blow your opponent away with a full power smash attack. So that's a full power smash. And if you do it just as your character starts flashing, you will do a perfect smash, which goes through any guard. Launch this attack with any of 5 directions, which means you can do it forwards, you can do it backwards, you can do it left, and you can do it right. The first one means just forward. Second one is upwards. Third one is downwards. Left is no left, and the fourth one is left, and the 5th one is right. Movement to striking attack. Press A while jumping, ascending, or dashing to launch various types of striking attacks. Try this out under various conditions, which I will show you later on. Key and key blasts. Key blasts. Press Y to fire energy blasts. Yeah, that much I found out on my own. Continuously press Y for a rush blast, a barrage of energy blasts. Also, by holding down Y to charge up, you can launch a smash blast. Movement to key blast. Press Y while jumping, ascending, or dashing to fire various energy blasts. For those of you that don't know what the word ascending means, because there are some people who don't know what that means, ascending is basically when you keep levitating or moving yourself upwards. Sorry. When you keep moving yourself upwards after you've already jumped. And on the GameCube controller, that would be with the R button. This is R, right? Yes, it is R button. So after you press R, you can press Y and you'll do rush blasts. And if you hold down R, you'll start levitating and floating upwards, and that's called ascending. From that, if you also press A while you're doing that, you can do something called a spiral slash, or the jump smash as it's commonly called by most players for whatever reason. And those of you who call it a jump smash, you are lazy bastards. Lazy faggots. Try this out under various conditions. Key charge. Energy blasts allow you to attack from a distance, but they also consume ki. The yellow gauge in the upper left part of the screen indicates your ki. You can regain ki by performing a ki charge. Hold down Z to perform a ki charge. Now see, this is where I got thrown off so many times. I'm so used to using the Classic Controller Pro and even the Wii Remote for that matter when it comes to charging ki and doing dash cancels, so having to use my right index finger instead of using anything on my left was confusing to say the least, because this button is also so freaking small. Like, I don't like the size of this button whatsoever. Many other actions also consume ki. Wait for the right moment during battle to perform a ki charge. This is flight training I'm secretly practicing, and I'm going to surprise my dad. I am stupid. Jumping and flying. When on the ground, press R to jump, which is basically what I taught you a moment ago in the previous section. Hold R while jumping to move around in the air. This is how you fly. Ascending and descending. Descending is basically the opposite of ascend, which you are going to see here. While airborne, press R to ascend and L to descend. Rapid ascent, descent. By holding down R, sorry that was my phone. By holding down R, you can rapidly ascend in the air. Likewise, by holding L, you can rapidly descend to the ground. Which means that if you hold it down completely, you will actually do a rapid descend consuming key, or a rapid ascend consuming key, so upwards and downwards. If you hold it down only slightly, but not fully, then you will, at a steady pace, you'll start going towards the ground or ascending again. Note that rapid ascent and rapid descent to use up your ki. Aha, I've already told you guys that. Dragon Dash and Z-Burst Dash are both high-speed movements. Dragon Dash. Dragon Dash allows you to move even faster than the standard dash, however, it consumes ki. Press Z plus B to perform a Dragon Dash. So Z plus B is a Dragon Dash. This will consume ki. And if you press it twice, well, yeah, you can also move it, which is going to be pretty much common sense. While using a Dragon Dash, you can break through rocks and other obstacles, and Z-Burst Dash, you can also press Z plus B during the Dragon Dash to perform a Z-Burst Dash, moving even faster and moving around to your opponent's back, but be careful, because this is going to consume your ki even greater, or even faster. Used effectively, this allows you to avoid attacks and move in close to your opponent. However, keep an eye on your ki gauge as it rises and falls. Striking attacks can also be used during a Dragon Dash or Z-Burst Dash. Dragon Homing is essential in order to take advantage of any attack opportunities. Dragon Homing. The full power smash attack performed by pressing A can send your opponent flying. You can continue attacking your opponent using Dragon Homing. Press B immediately after a full power smash attack to perform a Dragon Dash to pursue your opponent. This is Dragon Homing. Yeah, Zoso and Zero Annihilate and everybody else who doesn't know what to call this is called Dragon Homing. Got it memorized. Dragon Smash. Press up, down, left, right, plus A to do Dragon Homing. To perform a Dragon Smash to pursue your opponent and send them flying, which means while you're doing a Dragon Homing, you can do it in left, right, up, or down directions. You can also do it forward, but that's only if you don't, move your left stick left, right, up, or down. Remember this pattern. A, that down arrow on the A button means to hold down the A button, and then B to dash, because B is to dash, and after the smash you'll basically do a Dragon Dash, and press A again to do a smash after the Dragon Dash, so that's called Dragon Homing. Vanishing Attack. Press up, down, left, right, plus Y immediately after a full power smash attack hits to pursue your opponent at top speed for a vanishing attack. Some fighters are unable to use vanishing attacks. Let's try it out. Select Exit Training and the pause menu to quit. Oh, hooray, we're getting into this. Okay, so what am I doing again? View training content. Okay. And that's the lightning attack. Perfect smash! Okay, so that should be pretty basic for you guys, but if you need to see it again, this is a full power smash. If you press B, this is a Dragon Homing. If you press Y, it's a vanishing attack, and you'll basically vanish behind your opponent or in front, wherever. You can do it left, you can do it right, you can do it down, you can do it upwards. And if you don't select any direction, and you're just standing still, then you will do forward. Okay, so exit training. Yes, let's move on to the next one. Max power. Blast stocks, which is something Raging Blast needs. During a battle, your blast gauge will fill up with the passage of time. You can fill it up faster by doing things like deflecting energy blasts. When the blast gauge is completely filled, you gain a blast stock. When you have a blast stock, you can perform special moves that will give you an advantage. Max power mode. When your ki gauge is full, and you have at least one blast stock, you can hold a Z, making a blue gauge appear above your ki gauge. When the blue gauge is full, you'll enter max power mode. While in max power mode, smash attacks work differently. You can automatically fire energy blasts, and different fighters gain other special benefits. In this mode, the max power gauge will decrease over time. When the gauge is empty, max power mode ends. Defense is also essential in battle. Always try to decrease the amount of damage you take. Guarding. Hold X to guard against enemy attacks. Okay, I can do that. Press up or down while guarding to change the guard direction up or down. Certain attacks can only be defended against an up guard or down guard. Guard is a basic, essential form of defense, but it has limits. Powerful attacks such as Blast 2 can damage you despite your guard. Also, sometimes you can be subject to a guard crush. Emergency Blaster Wave, something which I never use anymore. The Emergency Blaster Wave is a way to forcibly avoid an opponent's attack. Move C left, C right quickly twice while being attacked or when being blasted. So that's how you do it on this thing? Wow. I probably never would have figured that out unless I played this enough and actually thought about using the damn thing. This uses up some health and cannot be performed when health is too low. Oh really? Tell that to the Gohan glitch. The grab glitch, I mean. With Gohan's grabs and Goten's grabs and Kui's grab. This is special technique training. Think about what you want to use and do it. Right, let's do our best. Blast 1, special move. By expending a blast stock, you can use Blast 1. Each fighter has two different types of Blast 1. Performed by pressing ZX or Z up X. Different types of Blast 1s use different quantities of blast stocks. Be sure to check your fighter's moves and how they work in skill list in the pause menu. Blast 1 is intended to be an auxiliary combat technique. Pay attention to your available blast stocks and try to use them effectively. Special attacks do great damage to your opponent. One strong blow and they'll be in the hospital. Let's hope they do not end up in the hospital. This is real life we're talking about. Blast 2, super move. By expending ki, you can use Blast 2. Each fighter has two different types of Blast 2. Well, different types. Performed by pressing Z plus Y or Z plus up plus Y. Different types of Blast 2s use different quantities of ki. Also, certain moves can allow for additional controller inputs. Be sure to check your fighter's moves and how they work in skill list in the pause menu. Blast 2 can cause a lot of damage to your opponent. However, since it uses a large amount of ki, be careful with how you use it. Ultimate Blast. Ultimate Blast, also known as your ultimate move. Press Z plus down plus Y while in max power mode to launch an ultimate blast. Each fighter has a single ultimate blast. Be sure to check your fighter's moves and how they work in skill list in the pause menu. Ultimate blast can cause a massive amount of damage, but when used in max power mode, it will end max power mode immediately. I heard that Saiyans can transform. Hooray! Transform D. I'd never really figured out the significance of that D. Goku, Mid, Gohan, Frieza, and certain other characters can transform by moving C down. So that basically means you can either call this the right stick, or you can just call this C stick and, use it for down, left, up, right, whatever. For example, Gohan can become a Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2. Every time C stick down is moved, the transformation will progress one stage. Transforming uses blast stocks. Canceling a transformation. A transformation can be cancelled by moving a left stick down plus C stick down. This does not consume a blast stock. Full transformation. Move left stick up, left, right at the same time. Up or left or right at the same time, just to be more specific for you guys, to transform all the way at once. For example, with Gohan, move left stick up plus C stick down to go directly to Super Saiyan 2. This uses the same amount of blast stock as if you transformed one stage at a time. Be sure to check what your fighter's transformations are and how they work in skill list in the pause menu. Transform D supple. What does the D mean? Certain fighters, like Frieza, cannot return to normal once transformed. Accordingly, in order to use the given transformation during battle, that form has to become available through Dragon History. So basically, if you haven't beaten Dragon History, which is Tenkaichi 3 story mode, and you haven't unlocked all the transformations for these characters, then you won't be able to use those transformations outside of story mode, online, in free battle, tournament mode, etc. You won't be able to use them in Dragon Simulator, Battle 100, stuff like that. Those modes. In team battles, you can fight with a friend. If you're in trouble, you can tag team. Okay, so considering C-stick down is to transform and use emergency blaster wave, I'm going to assume that C-stick up is to switch. During a team battle, you can switch which fighter you're using. In order to switch, your switch gauge has to be full. So you can see by the switch gauge, that's, circled by the red, well, not circled, but outlined by the red rectangle in the top left-hand corner, while under the key gauge is where it is. The switch gauge fills up as time passes. Hey, I was right! Move C-stick up while the gauge is full to switch characters, fighters, whatever. Selecting a fighter to switch to, when using a team of 3 or more fighters, you can choose which of them to switch. Meaning if, wait, what? Let me get back into that. Selecting a fighter to switch to using, you can choose which. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. You have to move the C-stick left or C-stick right to select the teammate to switch to. Use this technique to switch to specific team members. Oh, so that's it for that section? Okay, so now to intermediate. GameCube. Lock on. Lock on. Normally, you'll begin a battle with your opponent in sight. This is called a lock-on condition. However, aerial combos, ultimate blast, and so forth can cause you to lose sight of your opponent. When this happens, you lose your lock-on. In this condition, you'll be in danger as you won't know where attacks may come from. This, I'm also going to cover for you guys in my tutorial when it comes. Unless you guys want me to just answer some of your questions in the comments below, then go for it. Otherwise, it's not that I don't want to reveal this information, just that I'd rather put it all in the tutorial prior to actually giving out all the information. Otherwise, it just seems half-assed, In this condition, you'll be in danger as you won't know where attacks may come from. In order to get back into lock-on, you must regain sight of your opponent again. Once your opponent enters your field of vision, you'll regain your lock-on. As you are out of lock-on and you don't press any buttons, you will automatically search for your opponent. Once you find them again, you'll regain your lock-on. Lock-on proficiency. Fighters vary in how effective they are at lock-on. Fighters like Goku have the standard type of Z-search. Characters with Scouters have a more effective lock-on, but if they take enough damage, they can lose the Scouter and become far less effective. Deflecting key attacks, huh? This is essential. Repelling key blasts. Hold X, which is the defense button, the guard button, and move left stick left or right just before you're hit by an enemy's rush blast, and you can repel the rush blast, rendering it ineffective. I don't entirely remember if the direction pad on the GameCube controller is even active in this game, but if it is, then you can also use that instead of your left stick while holding X in order to deflect key blasts. Just letting you guys know. Because on the Classic Controller and Classic Controller Pro, you can actually use the D-pad, the direction pad. You don't need to use the left stick at all, if you don't want to. Continue alternately, moving left-right stick to continue repelling energy blasts. This is repelling energy blasts. Reflecting energy blasts. In the case of a smash blast, instead of repelling the blast, you can reflect it, or deflect it. Hold X just before you're hit by an enemy's smash blast, and you'll reflect your opponent's attack. Shouldn't this be deflect, not reflect? Whatever. Since characters' energy blasts vary in speed and type, the timing for repelling and reflecting them varies. Keep practicing until you get the hang of it. Rapid movement. Press X just before you're hit with your opponent's super attack to use rapid movement to avoid the attack. This is what a lot of us in the Tenkaichi community refer to as teleporting or just teleportation. I've never actually thought of calling this rapid movement because I did the tutorial so long ago that it just slipped my mind. So for me to call this rapid movement after that, and then learning about high-speed movement was kind of a forgotten detail, so to say. But If you guys want to call it rapid movement, go ahead. Otherwise, you can call it teleporting, like teleport a smash attack or a super attack, an ultimate attack, etc. Excuse me. Also, even against smash strike, heavy finish, or other chargeable attacks, you can still use X to dodge with rapid movement, which is what I just said. Wow, tutorial, you're so slow. Move left stick down, left, or right at the same time to determine the direction you'll move. Rapid movement is effective against a wide variety of attacks. Remember to press X, there goes my clock, just before you get hit. It's an important step towards mastering the game. Rush rapid movement. You can use rapid movement during a striking rush attack, for example by pressing AAAX plus left stick up, down, left, or right. You can use rapid movement on the third hit. This action uses some ki, but it lets you do a feint on your opponent. Rush rapid movement. Press X when your opponent is about to hit with a rush rapid movement to perform a rapid movement to take your opponent's back. Basically, you can call it a counter rush rapid movement or counter rapid movement. This is effective when counterattacking an opponent who performs rush rapid movement repeatedly. Let's try it out. Okay, so we're doing dodge and attack using rapid movement. Okay. Wow, I'm a little slow. Okay, that's rapid movement. So basically you want to press it just before the attack actually hits you, and the hitboxes for these attacks, again, which I will cover in the actual tutorial when I'm working on it, varies with your character and the attack itself. So for example, if you're wanting to dodge like legendary Super Saiyan Broly's Omega Blaster, the hitbox for that can be a little different, as can be for minus energy Powerball, which is Omega Shenron's ultimate move. So let's move on. Throw. Throws. Press BB, so basically press B twice rapidly while in close combat mode to grapple your opponent, and if successful, perform a throw attack. A throw will work even if the opponent is guarding. Escaping throws. You cannot defend against throws by guarding, but you can evade a throw by pressing X just before it lands. This is known as a grab deflect. Once you've escaped an opponent's throw, try to counterattack right away. This is all about hand-to-hand combat, user blah blah blah. Rush-based attacks. By pressing Y during a striking rush attack, you can use various related attacks. For example, with Videl, you can enter A 4 times and then press Y for a heavy finish. So A, Y for a heavy finish. The easiest way to find out all of the attacks that your character has would be to go into training with any character that you want, go to the pause menu, go to the skill list. It should be on the next page, and you'll see like you'll have Flying Kick, Ki Cannon, Blaster Wave, Rolling Hammer, stuff like that. Those are the attacks that you'll have. Rush Ki Wave, etc. So if you want to figure all those out, then just go to the pause menu, go to that side of the page of that page of the pause menu. I'm so tired right now, and you should be able to see all the moves that your characters have. So if you want to do that, please do. Otherwise, I will show you in the tutorial when it comes, which is kind of pointless, but a lot of people tend to be clueless, so I'm going to include as much stuff as I can. AAY will bring out a Flying Kick. The type of move that results from Y depends on which strike and the rush attack you are on. The type of rush-based actions also depends on the fighter. For further details, look at the character skill list in the pause menu. Please do! Most rush-based attacks allow you to hold down Y to charge up and increase their overall power. Using rush-based attacks makes your attacks harder to read. Lift Strike. Press left stick up plus Y during a rush attack to use a lift strike and launch your opponent into the air. Hold down left stick up plus Y to charge up, and you can send them even higher. Ground Slash. Press left stick down plus Y during a rush attack to perform a ground slash, which knocks your opponent off their feet. If you hold down left stick down plus Y to charge, you can put them down for a longer amount of time. Naturally, you can only defend against a ground slash with a low guard. Both lift strike and ground slash can briefly immobilize your opponent when they hit, but they differ in how they do so. If your opponent is immobilized, you'll have another chance to attack them. Decide which technique to use based on the situation at hand. Aerial combos, or air combos. A lift strike, press left stick up plus Y during a rush attack lifts your opponent into the air. When this happens, you can press them and perform an aerial combo. Immediately after doing a lift strike, press B, which is the dash button, and you'll use a homing jump to pursue them. So remember, in close combat mode, the B button becomes the step-in button, if you want to think about it like that. And you'll use a homing jump to pursue them. Once you reach the same height as your opponent, rapidly press A. This will let you connect a rush attack, adding a series of attacks. If you instead press Y after the homing jump, you'll perform an aerial heavy finish. After an aerial heavy finish, you can also add a rush attack. During an aerial combo's rush, you can press Y to knock your opponent to the ground. By using a throw, B, immediately after a homing jump, you can then use a rush attack A, aerial heavy finish Y, or throw B to attack the opponent. Evading aerial combos. If you're launched into the air, press X to avoid being hit by an aerial combo. Press left stick up plus X while in the air to perform an auto counter. This form of defense is available when your opponent is coming at you with a rush attack. If you cannot evade with this technique, if your opponent does a heavy finish or throw in the air. Oh, you cannot evade this with this technique if your opponent does a heavy finish or throw in the air. My bad. Evade an aerial heavy finish or throw by pressing left stick down plus X. Try to read what your opponent is trying to do and choose your defense accordingly. An aerial combo is a powerful barrage attack. Practice evasion until you can consistently defend against aerial combos. Okay, so am I defending or am I doing the aerial combo? Okay, so we're doing an air combo. So basically what you guys want to do here is, and it's on the second page, see, this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and page 5. So what we are going to do is lift strike. This is during a rush, and hopefully I don't screw this up. Hakoi! That is an air combo. So basically what you want to do is A, and then you want to press Y plus up. Then you want to do, oh my god. Then you want to press B again after you do the lift strike. And then press A again to start attacking. And if you don't do that, then you can just do this. Whoopsies, that's not what I meant to do. Step in. Ah. Okay, so you can use the direction pad in this. Or you can just do that and you'll be able to move freely, and from this you can either do a super attack, like a blast 1, a blast 2, or you can do a key blast, or you can do a grab, which is this. That's basically double tapping B in rapid succession. And we will move on to the next training. I'm still not used to this controller, so bear with me if I make some screw-ups. Pursuit attacks. Dragon homing pursuit attack. Press B immediately after a full power smash attack hits to use dragon homing. If you press A at this point, you'll attack with a dragon smash, after which you can use dragon homing, vanishing attack, etc. to pursue and attack your opponent. As with the initial dragon homing, if you press B right after the dragon smash hits, you can do dragon homing again to pursue your opponent. Also, if you press Y, you can use a vanishing attack instead. Vanishing attack to pursuit attack. Immediately after a vanishing attack hits, you can also use dragon homing and vanishing attack to pursue and attack your opponent. If you practice training pursuit attacks together, you can not only inflict lots of damage on your opponent, you'll be able to carry out battles far more effectively in general. However, you can only attack a set number of times. The number of times can be changed by equipping certain Z items. Let's try it out. So I guess we're going to be doing dragon homing, and we're going to be doing vanishing attacking. Is that what we're doing here? Perform a pursuit attack. Okay, so that was mainly for vanish attacking. And once more. Whoops. That's vanish attacking, that's dragon homing, laying an attack. So experiment with that, see where you can get. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I'm so hungry. Derived attack to combo. Hey, derived attack to combo. From rush-based attacks, dash attacks, jump attacks, and so forth, you can use various combinations and special actions. For example, if you press left stick up plus Y immediately after a heavy finish hits, you can connect to a Delta Storm, getting behind your opponent to attack. Also, if you press left stick up plus Y plus A immediately after a ground slash, you can connect to an aerial barrage, sending your opponent flying. The actual attacks used in these circumstances vary from one fighter to the next. There are various types of combinations and special actions, so be sure to check the skill list menu to learn how they work. There are many defensive and dodging techniques, aren't there? Be sure to remember them. Dodge! Auto counter. An auto counter is a defense/counter action for use against rush attacks. Press X plus Y for the auto counter motion. In most cases, this will initiate a sonic sway, which I'm telling you because I don't, yeah, you can, it's going to tell you here. After pressing X plus Y, you can hold X to stay in an auto counter motion, though this uses key. If you take a rush attack while in an auto counter motion, you'll counter attack. Sonic sway. If you take a smash attack during an auto counter motion, X plus Y, you'll do a sonic sway. When the sonic sway is activated, you'll automatically dodge enemy attacks. And afterwards you can counter attack. Also, this lowers your opponent's key. Rush attack to auto counter. If you press X during a rush attack, you can do an auto counter motion. However, in this case, it doesn't activate the sonic sway. Exchange of blasts and blows. Clash of blasts. If two super attacks, such as a Kamehameha and a Gallic Gun, collide, a clash of blasts can result. This is also called an exchange of blows in most cases, or a struggle. During such a clash, rotate the control stick as fast as you can. Whoever does so more times will win. Control stick, basically in this case we're referring to the left stick, which you use for movement and, just directional smashes and whatever. Only the loser will take damage. Exchange of blows. If two characters collide while using Dragon Dash to deliver rushing super attacks, okay. This you can call exchange of blows. The other one is called... I've already forgotten the name. Thank you, short-term memory. Clash of blows, and this one is an exchange of blows. Blows, not blows. An exchange of blows can result. During such a clash, rotate the control stick as fast as you can. Whoever does so more times will win. Only the loser will take damage. Because clashes often begin suddenly, it's important to be ready for one at any time. Also, specifically aiming to create clashes is one possible strategy. Oh my god, I'm gonna fail miserably at this. Oh my gosh. Which button is it? Oh, right, I got it. Yay, I win! Bakana! I had to, sorry guys. Success! Okay, moving on. So that is basically exchange of blasts and blows, or struggle if you want to call it. When you have a beam, any type of beam or an energy ball colliding with each other, they're usually called a struggle. That's just how it's commonly known in the Dragon Ball Z community. But if you want to go by what the game calls it, then you can basically call it an exchange of blasts, or a struggle, clash of blasts, etc. Oh, we're done. Seriously? Okay. Finally, advanced. We're getting to the fun stuff, the good stuff. Blast combo. During max power mode, you can deliver a powerful barrage of energy blasts called a blast combo. To do this, you use a special command. Let's try it out. I can't wait till this is over. I'm so hungry. And I still need to do the other performance. Whoopsies. Oh my god. There we go, that's the blast combo. So what you want to do when you're doing the blast combo, basically you want to do the Dragon Dash first. And to do that is basically Z and B at the same time, because that's dash, Z is to charge up, B is to dash, so you're gonna do that. You're basically gonna do this. And when you're in max power mode, you want to press Z and B at the same time to do the Z burst dash attack. And once you've done that, it'll lead you into the blast combo, which I will try and show you again. I kind of suck ass at it right now because I'm using this controller. And there you go. So that's a blast combo. Trial and error, my friends. You'll get used to it. Like I said, right now this is just... You know what, I think I'll just tell you guys at the end instead. So, Z counter. The Z counter is difficult to use even among the high level techniques. Press left stick up, press A, plus A. The moment a striking attack hits you, and you will block your opponent's attack, and automatically counter attack with a Z counter. Z counter must be used just when your fighter begins to flinch from the incoming attack, but the timing is very tight, and you must press left stick plus A at exactly the same time in order to perform it. Also, Z counter allows you to evade vanishing attacks by pressing X. Z counter response. By pressing X, the moment an opponent is about to attack your back with a Z counter, you can counter again and attack from behind. It's possible to have a succession of Z counters until one side fails. The longer the chain of Z counters continues, the more damage will be done when it finally ends. Okay, I don't really know if I can do this proficiently on the GameCube controller, but I'll try. There we go. So that's the Z counter. You want to try it again, boo-boo? I had to. Smart. Okay, so that's the Z counter. The timing for it is generally tight, and you can get used to it. And keep in mind something about the Z counter. You don't have to use the left stick to do that. You can also use the directional pad for doing the Z counter, or anything for that matter. Because since you can use it for movement, you can also use it for the Z counter. Just keep that in mind. Perfect smash. The fighter's body flashes when reaching full power while in a smash attack charge. After reaching full power, release A to perform a perfect smash, and you'll quickly move in and deliver an unguardable full power smash strike. The timing is very tight, but if you succeed, you'll be able to quickly move in close and attack. Because the movement and attack come together, it's difficult for your opponent to counterattack. That is personally a load of crap. But yeah, it can be difficult for the average player, I suppose. This is a very high-level technique. Let's try it out. Hooray. I don't know if I'll ever get used to this controller. Nope. That's a perfect smash. So you see when you're charging, and when your character starts flashing, and that one frame, literally, is when you want to release the button and do the perfect smash. I'll end it there for the time being. So, mastering that, it actually comes with two methods. You can either master it by the character's timing, or you can actually master it by reflex, which is releasing it the moment you see your character flashing. And if you can do that, mastering it by the moment your character starts flashing and do it by reflex, then you will easily master this game. Like, mastering smashes in general and all the other techniques in the game which require reflex timing, you will be just fine, I promise you. Doing it by timing is actually the easy way, but if you can do it by reflex, you're good to go. Solid. Down defense. Getting up from a down position. Rapidly press one of X, B, Y, or A to get up quickly. Also, if you press left stick up the moment you're knocked down, you can get up with a dash. Press left stick down the moment you're knocked down to get up while moving backwards. Counter against being sent flying. Press left stick up or left stick down just as you hit the ground after being sent flying in order to roll with the impact and significantly reduce the damage. Also, if you press left stick forward, up, whatever, just before the impact, you'll automatically drag and dash back into the action. This is handy for quickly counterattacking, but it uses ki. Once you get close to your opponent, you can use various techniques to shake them up. Step-in actions. After using a step-in, B, in close combat, you can attack immediately afterwards. Using step-in lets you deliver a rush attack and similar moves from close range. Also, you can press Y during a step-in for a step-in heavy. You can continuously attack the opponent from a rush attack to a step-in, A, B. This is what's known as step-in attacking, which is what any professional player needs, or any professional player does. Because this is absolutely vital to extending combos, or just comboing in general. Russian attack. By pressing A, B, and then A, left stick forward or left stick downward plus A, you will step in and perform a rush attack. You can continuously attack your opponent using rush attack immediately after a Russian attack hits. Accordingly, you can guard against a Russian attack in the corresponding direction. It might not be fighting technique, however, it's best for special control. Taunt. While searching for your opponent, if no buttons are pressed for a short time, your fighter will taunt your opponent. Taunting has no particular benefit and leaves you wide open, so only use it if you're sure you can get away with it. Camera control. Move C-stick left or right to rotate the camera. It seems those androids can absorb energy. No, Videl, really? Android type. Androids and other machine characters are unable to use Z to charge their ki. Instead, they naturally regain ki over time much faster than others. Such characters can still use max power mode in the same way. Hold Z. Also, android machine type fighters are more difficult to locate. Absorbing ki. I was hoping this would show, otherwise I would be like, great, you guys are going to make me show this to you myself. Some android type fighters have the ability to absorb enemies' ki. These include Dr. Gero, Android 19, and others. When using these fighters, the command for deflecting incoming energy blasts, X plus left stick or right X plus the left stick holding left or right is instead used to absorb energy. Also, for Kamehamehas and certain other attacks, press X plus left or right just before they hit to absorb them. Absorbing energy blasts will restore your own ki. But keep in mind about the android type, if you fill up your ki to maximum by absorbing other ki blasts and other attacks in general, it's not going to automatically put you in max power mode. You will have to hold down the Z button in order to attain max power mode before, trying to attempt your ultimate attack. Non-flying fighters. Some fighters cannot readily hold themselves in the air. However, it's possible to equip these characters with a Z item that will let them fly normally. The Z item in this game that will enable any character who cannot fly properly to fly is called Flight. Just Flight. F-L-I-G-H-T. There are also strong opponents that are unbelievably huge. I wonder if I can win. You totally can. Because you have Flight and you have Draconic Aura. Giant fighters. Great apes and other giant-sized fighters move slowly and can be difficult to use, but they cannot be thrown and cannot be knocked back by rush attacks. These characters are naturally very strong and can use their power to pressure opponents. The World Tournament, it might be better to change the way I usually fight. World Tournaments special rules. Some special rules apply in matches that take place on the World Tournament map. If you touch the ground anywhere other than the tournament ring, you'll lose the match via ring out. Also, the distance you can send your opponent flying is reduced, but it increases as they take more damage. Be especially careful when using a fighter who can't fly. So, that does it for the entire in-game tutorial. So what I'm just going to do is I'll get into the character selection screen so we don't have to hear any talking. This tutorial was basically just running through the in-game tutorial because some people on the Tenkaichi 3 board on Gamefaqs for the Nintendo Wii, which is what I'm using to record this on since my PlayStation 2 is now upstairs in my room. Well, dead until I decide to use Swap Magic with it. A lot of people were asking for a tutorial on Tenkaichi 3 with the GameCube controller, and I couldn't understand why nobody has made a tutorial for the GameCube controller on Tenkaichi 3. And I was in the process of actually doing the editing my old controller performance on Tenkaichi 3, and I was just about to put in my GameCube controller performance, but for some reason it wasn't even in my folder. And I looked on my external hard drive and it wasn't there. So I decided to hook up my Wii, which took only 2 minutes despite being disconnected and everything, since I've got everything in front of my TV here. And I was actually going to get straight into doing my performance for the video, but I figured as long as I'm on here and people just want a plain tutorial for Tenkaichi 3 with the GameCube controller, that I would finally just do a plain tutorial, and that's basically what this is. So if any of you have any questions pertaining to the controls on the GameCube controller, how to do specific movements, leave your questions in the comments below. I will answer every single one of them. And as for the general Tenkaichi 3 tutorial, that will hopefully start sometime this year. I can't give you an estimate on that because, as I said, I caved in last year for Raging Blast 2 because so many people were asking me to train them, and I just couldn't do it anymore because I had way too many students. I couldn't train them all on my personal time, and I figured, you know what, I'm just going to make the tutorials for Raging Blast 2, and making the tutorials for Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 are much easier than making a tutorial for Tenkaichi 3, especially right now, even with all that I have to do with upcoming exams and stuff like that. So the Raging Blast 2 tutorials will be coming soon, hopefully, and then the Tenkaichi 3 tutorials will be coming later this year. Prior to the Raging Blast 2 tutorial starting even, I will finally finish the Vortex Dash tutorial. So for those of you who are looking forward to that, I promise you it's coming. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to record Tenkaichi 3 on my emulator so I can record everything in high definition and in full screen and everything. So you guys will have a full-scale tutorial on how to do my latest and final, and I guess best invention on Tenkaichi 3 in my years of playing this game. So that's it for the tutorial. I hope you guys will, make use of it. I hope it'll help all of you because I'm not doing this again, but I will be doing the full-scale tutorial, as I just said, later this year. Full in-depth tutorial about all the mechanics, the frames, everything, so you can look forward to that. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Until then, I hope this tutorial does you justice. I don't know why nobody did it, but here it is now, so enjoy. Talk to you later, guys. Hawk out. Caw-caw.